For me, it's an exciting time. Obviously, it's something I've dreamed of since I was drafted. That's all I want to do is get to the playoffs, try and win a championship.
All eyes will be on the Raiders and Bengals AFC Super Wildcard Weekend.
All these people I've known the whole time that we were, playoff caliber, and we carried ourselves and worked like we were champions.
The Raiders win and can continue in the playoff bracket. And we're here with you for your fast takes and smart coverage on Vegas Nation Game Day.
Powered by the Las Vegas Review-Journal, this is Vegas Nation Game Day. Presented by D&R House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.
Welcome to Vegas Nation Game Day, the playoff edition. It's your host here, Heidi Fang, and I'm going to break down the Raiders and Bengals AFC Super Wildcard Weekend, taking place for the Raiders on Saturday starting at 1:30 p.m., the game kickoff. So let's go ahead and get into the opening drive brought to you by Capriotti's. There's no better time than game time to score party favorites. Order online to get Capriotti's party trays, box lunches, or large subs for the whole crew. Let's go ahead and get right into it now with our own Raiders reporter, Sam Gordon. Sam, what is different right now about the way that the Raiders are performing? Derek Carr has this mindset, this mentality, nobody cares, that's been permeating throughout the locker room. Yannick Ngakoue has said it as well. What is different right now about the mindset, first of all, of this team?
Yeah, I think we're going to see Josh Jacobs be a part of that. Raiders have figured out behind that young offensive line how to run the ball effectively. You don't need 100 yards every single game. But the threat of a running game, I think the threat or knowing that it's a tool for the Raiders offense, I think is going to open some things up in this game. Now you have Darren Waller back with his legs under him. I expect him to be a little bit part of this game plan. And you talk about what's worked for the Raiders offensively. Hunter Renfrow. This is a guy that's morphed in the last 3 years from a fifth-round pick into, let's call it what it is, one of the better receivers in the NFL and certainly the number one receiving option. So in those third down situations, whether he's catching passes or not, he's such a factor on an offensive side of the ball that it's going to open things up. I think we've seen Zay Jones become a bigger part of this offense. Brian Edwards still has the propensity to make key plays in key spots. So offensively, it feels like the Raiders are as healthy, as complete as they have been in any time this season. I don't think this is the kind of game where you want to get a shootout because Joe Burrow is equipped with big time skill position players on the perimeter, and that's an offense capable of scoring 40. I think the Raiders, for them, it's about ball control, Derek Carr making plays in key situations and taking care of the football. They did not turn the ball over against the Chargers. Now, it's the first time in a while that's happened. If they can reduce and minimize turnovers and force one or two on the other end, they're going to have an opportunity to win this ballgame.
The Bengals have a very potent offense, Sam. So I wanted to get your take on what the Raiders will need to do to stop Joe Burrow and company.
They have to find a way to make Joe Burrow uncomfortable. And this is where they have a big edge in their favor in terms of the matchup, or we would think, right? Based on how that defensive line has played, the way it got to Justin Herbert, Carson Wentz, Drew Lock, Nick Mullins before that, really affecting the quarterback, Max Crosby, Yannick Ngakoue, getting tremendous pressure on the edges. There's an opportunity to exploit a weakness here. Let's not forget, Cincinnati's offensive line has yielded 51 sacks to Joe Burrow. He's been sacked 51 times this year, losing 370 yards. Those totals are both tops in the league. So even though he's good against pressure, good against the blitz, he's very, very good. We know what he's done statistically, 4,600 yards, 34 touchdown passes, leading the NFL in yards per attempt and air yards per attempt. One of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. The Raiders, if they can get to him, he will turn the ball over. He has 14 interceptions this year, one of the league leaders. So getting to him, making him uncomfortable, keeping that offense in check is going to be huge. It's all about the defense in this particular game. If he's comfortable back there, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, 2,000-yard receivers, and then Joe Mixon, of course, can get it done on the ground. So they have to get to Joe Burrow and make him uncomfortable. The onus is on Crosby and Ngakoue to help make that happen.
Of course, we can't really compare the teams, the Raiders team now to the Raiders team that played the Bengals earlier on in the season. But what do you think you can take away from that game and say, this is what the Raiders need to do differently to walk away with the W?
They can't have any stupid penalties, Heidi. You look in that game, almost 80 penalty yards, 7 penalties, a lot of them unforced or unnecessary. You have to play clean football. I think that's where the game got away from them. And they were also atrocious on third down in that game, could not possess the ball. Bengals nearly doubled them up in time of possession. So if they can reduce the penalties, take care of the football, and limit the big plays. It's a big play Cincinnati offense. I think in the fourth quarter, Joe Mixon started having his way with the Raiders defensively. I think they kind of wore down, which makes sense because the offense wasn't on the field long enough. So they have to be able to at least sustain drives, even if they don't result in points. You have to at least be able to give your defense time to rest because this is an explosive offense we're playing against. I've said that time and time again, but it's the Cincinnati's the real deal. They have to bring their A game, minimize penalties, minimize turnovers, take care of the football, and they're going to have a chance.
I definitely feel like a better player, especially the last couple of years. Because I'm able to play different ways, different styles in order to win a football game, and I think that's been the biggest growth for me is learning how to move the ball and win when it's maybe not ideal. It's definitely a conscious decision that I'm trying to throw and force the ball down the field. You never want to overdo it, but I guess that's a little bit of the number 4 in me now.
As a quarterback from 6 years ago to now, he's way better than what he was back then, even then when he was having the MVP talks. And he would tell you the same thing. I mean, I think every year he's gotten better, smarter, has gotten stronger. You know, he loves to flex his arms and stuff. And then has gotten, better connected with the team and everything, just as an all-around quarterback and leader of this team.
Flip the Field, brought to you by Pirate Plumbing, the masters of disasters. All right, everybody, it's Heidi Fang back with you, and I'm joined now by Ed Greene, and it's time to flip the field. Ed, we're going to take a look at this Bengals offense and dissect it, starting with Joe Mixon. He's one of those guys that won you your fantasy league for sure, but I wanted to ask you about how Joe Mixon has made these availabilities and openings happen for him, and what will the Raiders need to do to stop him?
Well, they better prepare better than last time, Heidi. In a 32-13 win here at Allegiant Stadium, Joe Mixon ran 30 times for 123 and 2 TDs. He was just recently taken off the COVID-19 reserve list, so I think he'll be ready on Sunday. We'll see if he's got his wind back. He looks ready to go. Here's something to consider. There's snow in the forecast. What does snow in the forecast mean? Teams tend to try to run the ball more, so it's going to be up to Max Crosby and that vaunted defensive line of the Raiders to get after Joe Mixon, because they better do a better job this time than they did last one.
There's an obvious connection between Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase going back to their days at LSU. So speak to that chemistry, and how have they made that work for them?
Maybe more importantly, though, Joe Burrow hit 9 different receivers with at least one pass. Think about that, 9 different receivers. You mentioned Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd we talked about, T. Higgins. They've got a lot of weapons on this team. Again, the weather might play a big part in this and how the receivers are going to do. But if they get open, Joe Burrow can find them, and Tyler Boyd's one of these guys who can really hurt you along with Jamar Chase. So the Raiders are going to have to be very cognizant of that.
Vegas Nation Injury Brief, sponsored by 90 Injury Law.
Leandre Fox here with your playoff injury brief, and the only player listed with the designation for Saturday's game is defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins. Hankins is listed as questionable on the injury report. Rich Bisaccia said earlier this week that the Raiders are hopeful that he will be able to go. And the depth of that defensive line could come into play, as both Quentin Jefferson and Kendall Vickers both became late additions to the injury report, both limited in Thursday's practice. Other limited participants include tight end Darren Waller, running back Josh Jacobs, and cornerback Casey Hayward. Be sure to check out Vegas Nation Gameday Live to find out who will be in or out of the game once the official report comes in 90 minutes prior to kickoff.
D&R House of Diamonds is Las Vegas's elite private office jeweler, the perfect bridge between internet pricing and a traditional brick-and-mortar jewelry store. We specialize in loose diamonds, natural and lab-grown, engagement rings, fashion jewelry, custom design, and jewelry repairs. We operate by appointment in our beautiful offices in the One Summerlin building, downtown Summerlin. Our great relationships with the world's largest diamond wholesalers and our low overhead saves you hundreds, if not thousands, on your purchase.
Vegas Nation Game Day Live. The latest Raiders game day news on VegasNation.com 90 minutes before kickoff. Vegas Nation Game Day Live. Sponsored by South Point Sportsbook. Download the app at southpointsports.com. Vegas Nation Fan Zone. Sponsored by your Southern Nevada Toyota dealers. Toyota. Let's go places.
We've partnered with them in different ways with the Raiders and stuff. And so getting to kind of see what, they're doing to impact children in the area and stuff. And now having Pittsburgh fans, giving generously to that, it's been so cool.
For the NFL's My Cause, My Cleats initiative, Raiders kicker Daniel Carlson picked the Boys and Girls Clubs of Southern Nevada. And because his game-winning kick on Sunday sent the Steelers to the playoffs, Pittsburgh fans are thanking him in a big way by sending a wave of donations to his cause. So, have you ever seen this many donations from Pennsylvania?
Never. But we love our Steelers fans now, for sure.
And I know you love Daniel Carlson, of course. What does this mean to the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah, he's been great. We started with a promotion at the beginning of the year, and then he started coming into the club and volunteering, going as far as playing Sharks and Minnows in the gym with the kids. So it was awesome. When he was playing Sharks and Minnows, he was competitive. He was not messing around. So this was part of the My Cleats, My Cause, and he wore this on game day. So we're over 200 donations and over $7,000 so far. What's great for me is the Raiders were great partners right from the beginning. They were in this particular gym within 2 weeks of saying they were moving to Vegas. So I really appreciate the effort that the Raiders have put into being a good community partner.
Thank you, Daniel!
That'll do it for this episode of Vegas Nation Game Day. Don't forget, our Game Day live show will take place 90 minutes leading up to kickoff, where we will have you covered on everything that you need to know before the Raiders kick off against the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll be out there in Cincinnati, and we also have our crew here in Las Vegas that'll get you caught up with all the fast takes and smart coverage from the Vegas Nation crew. Don't forget, head over to vegasnation.com to check out all of our latest Raiders coverage.
Vegas Nation Game Day, presented by DNR House of Diamonds, making luxury affordable. Located in the One Summerlin building in downtown Summerlin.